Explosive new footage exposing a brutally aggressive and widely debated defensive strategy against the Indiana Fever has officially taken over the internet, and Sophie Cunningham completely changed the narrative while setting social media on fire in the process. During this weekend's huge, long-awaited preseason showdown between the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty at the Barclays Center, the mainstream broadcast failed to capture the real battle unfolding on the hardwood. They brushed past the controversial sequences, overlooked the relentless physicality, and downplayed the intense defensive pressure being applied. But thanks to viral fan-recorded clips and the fearless toughness of Indiana Fever's premier enforcer, the entire WNBA landscape is now buzzing with disbelief. Sophie Cunningham did not go viral simply for knocking down huge three-pointers. She exploded online because she transformed the court into her personal territory, aggressively blocking, sealing, and physically creating space against anyone bold enough to crowd Caitlin Clark. Wnba Stewart, the celebrated star of the New York Liberty, quickly discovered why the Indiana Fever are emerging as one of the most physically intimidating teams in the league. This is the completely unfiltered and fiercely analytical home for the sharpest basketball conversations anywhere online. If polished PR talking points are what you want, this is your warning to click away now. Today we are dissecting the viral footage of Stewart's controversial off-ball contact, Sophie Cunningham's explosive rise as the ultimate on-court protector, the truth behind the Liberty's defensive scheme, the massive hidden value in Cunningham's contract, and the unforgettable TikTok celebration that further solidified the Indiana Fever's championship-driven culture. To fully understand why Cunningham was out there clearing space like elite security, you need to examine the raw, unedited fan footage that mainstream coverage barely dared to address.
Real quick, let me kill this sound because it got copyright music. You guys see that? Did y'all? And now she throwing up her hands. She's throwing up her hands like she ain't just damn me. Boom. Lead forward and assault Sophie Cunningham, bro. Dirty fucking play there. That was a dirty play. Now, it looked like the referee actually might caught it.
Long before Sophie Cunningham unleashed her relentless blocking spree, she was first on the receiving end of a blatant and highly questionable physical sequence involving former MVP Wnba Stewart. Take a closer look at the raw fan footage. While Cunningham attempts to work her way around the perimeter, Stewart steps directly into her path with clear intent. But instead of holding a firm and legal basketball screen, she appears to abandon standard fundamentals and shifts her entire upper body weight forward, driving a highly debated elbow into the chest area of Sophie Cunningham. The contact immediately sparked reactions because of how forceful and sudden it looked in real time. What made the moment even more controversial was Stewart's instant response, throwing both hands straight into the air while turning toward the referee, presenting the collision as if it were purely accidental. That sequence has since become one of the most discussed clips from the game, with fans and analysts split over whether it was simply aggressive positioning or a dangerously excessive basketball play that crossed the line.
So this is a slow motion version of it. So as you guys can see here, just look at it. Boom, bro. Boom. Just completely look at Breonna Stewart's face. And this is who we got in charge of negotiating the CBAs. Look at this. Like, how do something like this happens always?
When you examine the slow-motion, frame-by-frame breakdown of that sequence, the biomechanics of the play explain exactly why it has triggered such fierce debate across the basketball world. Stewart's feet are still moving well beyond the three-point arc, and instead of holding her ground, she shifts her momentum forward to create the collision. Her arm extends away from her torso, increasing the level of physical contact and amplifying the impact. To some fans, that pushes the moment into non-basketball territory. To others, it reflects the kind of edge expected in high-stakes competition. But the real story is how Sophie Cunningham responded after taking that heavy blow from a significantly taller forward. She did not flop, she did not turn toward the officials, and she did not waste energy protesting. She absorbed the contact, kept her balance, reset instantly, and prepared herself for the next battle. That reaction revealed exactly what she understood in the moment. The New York Liberty were not simply defending, they were trying to disrupt rhythm through relentless physicality. They knew they could not easily contain the lightning-fast transition attack of the Indiana Fever, so they leaned into maximum pressure, and at the center of that strategy was the effort to target Caitlin Clark.
Talking about right here. So this was Sophie here. But watch how this girl is hacking Caitlin Clark. Watch this. Caitlin Clark is getting hacked. Watch. Watch. Look at her. Hacking Caitlin Clark all over. Now watch Sophie. Boom. Now, when Sophie did...
Take an even closer look at how the New York Liberty defended Caitlin Clark on the perimeter, because the details reveal everything. The aggressive hand-checking was constant, the defenders crowded every dribble, reached into her space, and tested her physically each time she tried to initiate the half-court offense. It was a deliberate effort to wear her down and disrupt her timing before plays could even develop. The Liberty appeared to operate under the assumption that officials would allow that level of contact to continue unchecked, forcing the generational star to battle through relentless pressure on every possession. And that is precisely the moment Sophie Cunningham chose to dismantle the entire defensive blueprint. The cameras captured Cunningham doing what very few players in the league execute with such force and commitment, setting punishing, immovable screens that sent an unmistakable warning. She was creating separation, driving defenders off their spots, and physically clearing space for Clark with a level of raw aggression and controlled intensity that has become increasingly rare in today's game. It was not reckless, it was calculated, purposeful, and designed to make one thing clear. If the Liberty intended to turn the game into a physical battle, Indiana was fully prepared to answer.
Sophie didn't look like she leaned into her, bro. Let me see. Nope. I don't think she did. I don't think. Oh, and old girl flopped. Look at this damn flop. She threw her arms up and everything. Now, if we go back and look at what happened to Sophie, like people want to say Sophie did the same thing.
One defining sequence from that game sent social media into overdrive and instantly became one of the most talked about moments of the night. As Caitlin Clark attacked the lane with full momentum, the defensive pressure closed in from every angle, creating the exact kind of chaos opponents rely on to disrupt her rhythm. That was when Sophie Cunningham stepped in and delivered the kind of hard, uncompromising screen that completely shifted the possession. She did not merely create a small opening, she owned the space, placing herself directly between Clark and the incoming defender with force, precision, and absolute commitment. The impact was immediate, and the defender's dramatic reaction only fueled the conversation even further. What stood out most, however, was the contrast in composure and physical toughness throughout the game. Cunningham consistently absorbed contact without exaggeration, staying grounded and focused on the next play, while others appeared far more eager to sell collisions in hopes of drawing whistles. That contrast became a major talking point because it highlighted two completely different approaches to physical basketball. One rooted in resilience and controlled aggression, the other in theatrical attempts to influence officiating. The moment spread across every major platform because it captured the essence of what made the game so intense. A battle between authentic toughness and strategic gamesmanship, with Cunningham firmly establishing herself as the emotional and physical tone setter. Educated basketball fans quickly started labeling Sophie Cunningham as Caitlin Clark's unofficial enforcer, and the reaction around the league only grew louder as the narrative took hold. When Stewart was involved in the early physical exchanges and the footage circulated widely, it reinforced a growing perception across the Wnba. The Indiana Fever are not a team opponents can intimidate easily anymore. The reality behind that perception goes deeper than a single game. Throughout the previous season, Caitlin Clark endured relentless physical pressure, constant bumps, tight crowds, and repeated contact from experienced defenders who tested her every night. Over time, that accumulation of physical strain contributed to the soft tissue injuries that cut her rookie campaign short after just 13 games, a reminder of how punishing the adjustment to the professional level can be. Those injuries were not isolated incidents but the result of sustained nightly contact that few players in the league had to absorb to the same degree. What changed the conversation, however, was the emergence of Sophie Cunningham as a stabilizing force beside her. After 9 grueling months recovering from an MCL tear, enduring a demanding rehab process and uncertainty about her return, she made her comeback with a renewed edge and purpose. Eventually signing a heavily discounted one-year deal worth $665,000, she returned not just as a role player, but as a physical presence designed to absorb pressure, set the tone, and ensure Clark is no longer facing that level of punishment alone. She signed that contract because she genuinely wanted to be part of this environment, to position herself as the ultimate enforcer for one of the most high-profile stages in women's basketball. And on Saturday afternoon at the Barclays Center, she showed that 9 months of brutal knee rehabilitation had not altered her identity or her edge in any way. She delivered a highly efficient performance, finishing 5 of 8 from the field, scoring 13 crucial points, and posting a strong +8 impact in the box score that reflected her influence beyond the stat sheet. The way Sophie Cunningham plays the game is not without debate. Her physical screens and aggressive positioning often sit right at the boundary of what officials are willing to allow in the WNBA, which means her presence can lead to highly contested calls and intense moments throughout a game. But having a fully healthy Cunningham on the roster is a clear competitive multiplier, because it fundamentally changes how opposing defenses operate around star players. When defenders know that excessive physicality toward Caitlin Clark will be met with immediate equal response on the next possession, it naturally forces hesitation and alters defensive aggression. That enforcer effect becomes a strategic advantage in itself, shaping how teams choose to engage. After the victory, Cunningham further amplified the moment by posting a TikTok video that quickly went viral, extending her impact far beyond the final buzzer and into the broader conversation around toughness and identity in the league. In her New York hotel room, she leaned fully into the moment, lip-syncing, celebrating, and embracing the spotlight in a way that perfectly reflected her personality. Flexing her surgically repaired knee with confidence and hyping up the moment with dubs in the chat, she turned a simple post-game clip into a viral statement that spread rapidly across social media. That TikTok captured Sophie Cunningham's identity in its purest form. She plays with relentless physicality, celebrates with unapologetic energy, and brings a level of charisma that translates directly into attention and marketability for the WNBA. From a business standpoint, the reality for the Indiana Fever front office is becoming increasingly clear. A player like Cunningham on a one-year deal represents exceptional value, not just in production but in culture-setting impact, as she elevates the team's identity in ways that go far beyond the box score. If her level of performance and influence continues, it is inevitable that rival franchises such as the Phoenix Mercury or the Las Vegas Aces will begin exploring ways to acquire her services, recognizing the rare combination of toughness, personality, and leadership she provides. That possibility makes her retention a critical priority, because losing a player of her profile would mean losing a key emotional anchor and cultural force within the roster. For Indiana, the decision becomes straightforward in principle but urgent in timing. Secure a long-term extension before her value escalates even further and other teams attempt to capitalize on what she has built. Every single team on the Indiana Fever's demanding schedule is going to feel Sophie Cunningham's presence in a very real and unavoidable way this season, because she is not just back, she is back with a sharpened edge, a renewed physical identity, and an undeniable intensity that immediately changes how possessions are played. Her return adds a completely different layer to Indiana's overall structure, especially in how they handle contact, spacing, and perimeter pressure, because opponents can no longer focus solely on stopping the primary action without consequence. And with her presence stabilizing the physical side of the game, Caitlin Clark has never been structurally safer or more naturally supported within the flow of the offense, as defenders are forced to think twice before overcommitting or crowding her space. Beyond the on-court impact, there is a deeper cultural shift happening within the roster itself. A huge shout-out goes to loyal channel members like Sarah, Mark, and David for consistently supporting this platform and pushing for elite, uncompromising tactical breakdowns that dig into the real mechanics of the game rather than surface-level narratives. That level of support is what fuels deeper analysis like this, where every screen, rotation, and physical adjustment actually gets examined with intent and clarity. If you genuinely connect with that gritty, enforcer-driven basketball mentality, make sure to hit the subscribe button right now, because this season is shaping up to be defined by physicality, matchups, and identity battles across every possession. And if you want the most detailed roster insights anywhere online, drop your unfiltered predictions in the comments and share which Sophie Cunningham bodyguard moment stood out most to you from this stretch of games. There is real intrigue building around how her role evolves as the season progresses, whether she continues as a pure physical tone setter or expands into an even more complete two-way presence. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell immediately, because the highly anticipated next preseason matchup on April 30th against the Dallas Wings is approaching fast, and every single possession, adjustment, and physical battle will be broken down in full detail as this evolving story continues to unfold.